Well, as far as I know, that's all I had left. Is there anything else that I need to do?
Mary?
Not that I've seen. I think you're sort of addressed everything
And everything's good?
So we're waiting for the well.
Pardon?
We're waiting for the well shared agreement. There's a shared well agreement.
That written approval from Weber Morgan Health Department is submitted stating that the shared well meets all county and health department requirements, something. That's what our code says. That,
So is that going to be a condition?
yeah, that could be a just condition, everything else. The surveyor's the one that's dealing with the boundary, and so he'll.
Well, he said he updated the boundaries.
Okay.
So the title company, I guess, needs to update the title report to
Right.
match that.
And our county surveyor will check that, so that's.
So number 4, make sure that we have a shared well agreement.
Written approval from Weber Morgan Health Department for the shared well agreement.
Yeah, thank you. We'll just have a discussion amongst ourselves.
Okay.
I think that's.
Is that it?
Yep, nope, that's all I could see.
Any discussion? I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the Kingston Revocable Trust Small Subdivision Preliminary and Final Plat Application 22.021, allowing for a 2-lot subdivision of land located at 5650 and 5660 North Robinson Lane, based on the findings and with the conditions listed in the staff report dated June 19, 2022, with an addition of condition number 4, that we have written approval from Weber Morgan Health about a shared well agreement.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item number 7. Discussion decision on Dutchman's Way preliminary final plat. And this is a 3-lot subdivision located at 2101 West Old Highway Road. Oh, the Runckus is here? Yeah. Okay. And just to summarize, it looks like you were just taking a, because you'll be talking after me. I can't find the correct one. But you're basically just subdividing into 3 lots, correct?
That's correct.
From currently 1, and we had the rezone on you last year?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to?
I think everything's in order, so I think we're good to go. I mean, it's just on you guys, unless you have any other questions on what's going on there. So.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
I have a few things. Again, the shared well agreement will be the.
It should be on the plot map, and we have all the recordings for it.
You have the recorded one?
Yeah.
That's. You have that telephone easement.
Yes, we're working on that right now, as a matter of fact. We're in contact with some lawyers, and we've actually got the line rerouted. It's just a matter of them talking, working with us to get it moved and get rid of the easement.
Okay. So what do we need? Do we need to make that as a condition, or how? Because it kind of goes through where the couple houses will be.
Well, they actually will still fit on the lot without moving
Without moving it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then I do have the public utility easements. Our code requires a front and a rear and along one side, but I don't see any easement along the rear.
They've never asked for anything, nobody's ever said anything to us about it. There is one all the way along the front. There's a utility easement, 10-foot easement all the way along the front of the property.
But our code requires front and rear and
Well,
one side.
Don't you think the planning, I mean, somebody should have told us that, we had to have that on our plot? I mean, nothing's been said till just right now about that.
Okay. But,
And that's the frustrations he has over there, the exact same thing, we're in the same boat.
well, I'm just, okay, I'm just going off code. And we normally see them, it just surprised me that it's not on there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, nothing's ever been said about it. We've been doing this for over 2 years now, nothing's ever been said about that rear easement.
I'm sure Jess could probably do it, I mean,
Yeah,
okay. But that could just be, I can make like a condition of approval for the, I mean, it's not difficult. That was all I had.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Okay,
We'll just have a
thank you.
discussion. Does anybody have any questions, concerns?
Well, so we would need to add that as a fourth condition?
Yes.
Yeah, that the front, rear, and side, and,
So, just a question on that one though. I mean, the way this is drawn right there, the slough runs right through there, so to put an easement there,
well, I'm just saying code requires it, that can be, I'm sure Jess will know what to do, but code requires it there.
Well, are you talking the slough or are you talking the easement?
the easement,
The easement. It just has to be shown there, and I understand. what
it'll
you're
never
saying.
be used because you can't.
I
do nothing.
I understand.
Anything else? I'll take a motion.
Well, you can do it or you want?
You can do it.
Okay. Let me get there. Mr. Chair, I move we approve Dutchman's Way Small Subdivision Application 22.023, allowing for a 3-lot subdivision land located at 2101 West Old Highway Road, based on the findings and with the conditions listed in the staff report dated June 9, 2022, with the added condition number 4, that the public utility easements are shown on the final plat, and that would be the front, rear, and one side public utility easement.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Item number 8. This is Burwell Cabin CUP, not to be confused with the Carter Cabin CUP, just coming up immediately after. And just for anybody who wasn't here for the discussion prior, normally this is a C1, which would be the planning director that would approve it. But since the planning director's office is currently vacant, it is coming to us.
Do I need to say anything at this point, or?
If you want to describe it, that'd be helpful.
Sure. This cabin is of hardscrabble, and at least that's the proposed location of it. I submitted all of the conditional use permit application, and so I guess as long as there's nothing wrong with that application, I think it should be ready to go. Well, I guess what questions you have about it, and then I'll answer all those questions. I've never done this before, by the way. I'm scared, actually.
We've never approved, we've never approved the cabin.
And this typically doesn't come to us, so since the director's spot is open, this is coming to us now. So C1 is, if it's approved tonight, it's approved, you'll be done, but you wouldn't even normally have come this far.
Yeah, and that was my understanding in talking to Lance, and I was really hoping that he could do this before he left. It was sitting on his desk,
Yep.
but it just didn't get there. So
Right.
here I am on the anniversary. So,
It's his anniversary too.
hey, happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you, 31 years. How
Great way to
about,
spend
how
it.
about you? 31 years?
16.
That's good, keep going.
So I guess the cabin is, I don't know, it's a cabin, and I just want to build it. So I don't know what to say beyond that.
Does anybody have questions?
Well, I just noticed, one of the conditions, number 2, it says that the business adheres. I think that probably shouldn't say business.
No.
Well, it might say that because the land is under a business name, is that?
Well,
Maybe why?
it could be, but
The
It's just
owner?
under Hardscrabble Land LLC.
Just needs to be cabin.
that the cabin instead of business change. I figured that's what it meant. And we just kind of have the location.
Yeah,
Did
I
he re-
submitted a map for that of the location?
Yes, we, as far as, were any architectural drawings, I mean, I don't know what was submitted to Lance.
I didn't submit, well, I submitted some drawings that were kind of for approval drawings. I have engineered stamped drawings and architectural drawings done at this point, if you wanted to see them, but I was told that I didn't need to submit them for this purpose, so I didn't. I just submitted the location. I submitted a map that would show where the cabin is in relationship to the well, in relationship to the septic system, in relationship to the streams and roads, and then just made sure that all those matched code requirements so that we weren't infringing on any of those boundaries.
Usually, like, the cabin with the conditional use should blend in with its surroundings, and whether that's done at building permit to be reviewed, I don't
I
know.
always thought that, well, I guess I usually thought blending in the surroundings was a function of like an HOA type of a architectural review committee. But if you wish to see the cabins, I could show you them.
Is there a code for that?
Well, just as a condition of approval, well, under the conditional use, A4 in the table, it says appropriate design, construction, location of structures. It just, limitations to control of the number, locations, color, size, height, lighting, and landscaping of outdoor, but that goes to signs and structures.
All of those descriptions seemed quite relative to me and not specific, so I wasn't sure, like, that's usually typically where it defaults to some CCNRs, but there are no
Right.
CCNRs in this privately owned property.
Well, I just know lots of times with cabins, I don't know exactly where these are located compared to roads, so that you don't have reflective roofs and
Oh,
stuff like that. So that's,
yeah,
I
I did
think,
note on the paperwork that they are not visible at all
Okay.
from any other person's residence.
How far apart Scrabble are they?
How far?
Yeah.
Once you get off of the pavement, you know where the first gate is, it takes me about 15 minutes of drive time. I don't know how far that is
That's-
exactly, but it's a ways. It geographically, if you know where the Bountiful Temple is, if you hop over the mountain directly from there, that's where they're at.
okay, in the table, it says that it's access from the state highway. So is it access from Hardscrabble Road or from Highway 66?
Who wrote State Highway?
I don't know, it just says, that's what it says.
On my documentation or yours?
That might be from
A previous,
application.
on what?
Previous application, so it would be Hardscrabble Road that it's accessed.
Okay, so that's just okay.
You probably,
The Carter cabin said Hardscrabble, but this one said
they both
State
are.
Highway, so I was,
So I guess on either of them, you would take the State Highway to Hardscrabble.
they both access the same road up to the cabin, or will they be,
Essentially, yeah, you take a road and then you split to
Okay.
one and then the other. Yeah. That's
It
correct.
just says south of Highway 66 along Hartscrabble Road.
No,
Yeah,
but this, I'm looking at the table.
I attempted to get an address
project
for
description.
them, but I was told that I couldn't get an address because they're so remote.
Right.
What would it be?
What's that?
Says what would it be?
I don't know, to make up something clever for contractors to get there.
And I assume that Weber Morgan Health will deal with the septic and wells.
Yeah, I have already got approval from them on the location of the septic and the type of septic, and the wells are already drilled. So I hope they're okay.
Okay. And it also talked about geotech or any
Yes.
geohazard.
I did submit the 17-page geotech report we did independently for both of those.
Okay? And we don't have that in our packet, so that's fine.
Yeah, everything looks great as far as construction goes, other than on one of them, we just need to over-X 2 extra feet and then bring it up with engineered fill, which we'll just proctor that as we come up and then get it inspected.
Okay. That was, went down the table there, that was it.
Most of that stuff's gonna be handled at building
I would
permit
think-
stage and throughout the
Yeah.
process. So,
I would think Dave Webster will handle that.
yeah.
Cool. Is that it for me then on this cabin?
That's it? Did you want to just put a condition in there that it's not conspicuous?
What is
It can't be seen.
Conspicuous just means that it's highly, it stands out.
It won't be seen.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean.
When he explained where it
yeah,
was.
Where you're located, if somebody's seeing that, they're trespassing.
Yeah.
That is true, yeah. No one will see it from
Not they're looking down
from
the
any
top.
other building. And they sit on 4,000 acres, so it should be enough buffer to not see them.
Yeah, just as long as it wasn't up on a slope where it would be seen. No, that's fine. I'm
Where they're
okay.
at.
Yeah. As far as the design goes, I am the designer of them, and a lot of care has gone in to try and, in fact, the garage is literally buried. The entire garage is buried. You just drive up into the bat cave, if you will. No. Very inconspicuous. Is it?
Any discussion? I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the Burwell Cabin CUP application 22.032, located at serial number 01-002-023 and parcel ID number 00-0000-1147 off of Hardscrabble Road in Porterville, Morgan County, Utah, based on the findings and with the conditions listed in the staff report of June 9, 2022.
Have a motion. Have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. And was this item number 9? Similar?
They're much less
Are you gonna-
nervous now.
Okay. You're not Mark Carter.
I'm not
Are you
Mark
his agent?
Carter. I work with and for Mark Carter,
Okay.
and so I'll be designing and building this cabin as well, and it's, yeah, just in a couple thousand feet away from the other cabin, the Burwell one, not visible to each other. As far as conspicuousness goes, we just walked the site and decided to push it off the mountain a bit so that it's not within any ridge line for that very reason, and blend it in, even though no one's gonna see it.
The previous one had a square footage on the cabin. Does this one? I don't see it.
I think that the square footage is like 6,000, and I think there was something I saw that said 4, but I don't know what that was. What does yours say? Square footage?
Well, on this one, it doesn't say anything for square footage. Like on the previous one, it said 216-something square feet, two-story cabin.
That's inaccurate on the last one.
Okay.
It's not. The last one was about 4,000, and this one is about 6,000.
Okay.
Are you looking at square footage or are you looking at acreage? You're looking at
I think
acreage.
the one said 200, because I thought that was pretty small.
I thought it was kind of
Yeah,
small
I was like,
cabin. I figured it was a
that's fine.
typo.
You're looking at acreage. Sorry.
Doesn't even matter for the CUP? It
No.
doesn't even matter. So this is more of a curiosity thing to us.
14,000?
Okay.
There was, they said 200 something on the photo.
Yeah, and the previous one, it just says a 216.17 square foot, two-story cabin.
I figured it was a
That's-
typo, but
That
no.
is not square feet, that's acres. That sits on that many acres,
Okay.
on that part of the 4,000 acres.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
On the top of my stuff, it says acres.
Oh, they've got those micro cabins too, which,
Oh, and tiny cabins?
yep. This would be
There's some
tinier than the
outhouse
tiny.
up there about that.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions on this one? Okay, thank you. Any discussion?
you.
I'll take a motion.
Anyone want? I'll do that. Mr. Chair, I move we approve the Carter Cabin Conditional Use Permit, application 22.033, located at serial number 01-002-016-2 and parcel ID number 00-0088-0298 off of Hardscrabble Road in Porterville, Morgan County, Utah, based on the findings and with the conditions listed in the staff report dated June 9th, 2022.
Second.
I've got a motion, I've got a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Item number 10, you are all welcome to stay. We are going to be working on the area plan update, which is it technically part of the general plan? Or is it
A precursor to the general plan.
a precursor to the general plan? So if you want to watch this, you can. If you want to contribute, we'll probably open it up for suggestions, but this is just a work session. And it might be a bit boring. And Debbie's like, there's no might about it. Okay. So did everybody get a copy of their areas, area plan from Bailey?
Yes.
And I think most of you will be like me, you'll be like, wow, this hasn't been updated since 2007.
Well, that's why I was wondering when, the day, like how old this is.
So at least for Enterprise, on the first day, you can see that this one was signed January 16th of 2007. And the council members were David Gardner, Sid Krager, Chad Hawks, Tina Kelly, Bruce Sanders, Lynette Stevens, and Karen Sunday.
What? He was, Chad Hawks was
Chad Hawks was on,
before that or after?
he was on for my first year.
Yeah, and then,
Have you looked at your plan? What the heck does that mean?
I don't know, I gotta sit down and study it more.
So these are approximately 15 years old, and obviously they were working on these before they were signed. So I guess the question is how much has changed, and how much do we need to update these to accommodate or to take into account that change? And I know certain areas of the county have changed quite a bit, like around Mountain Green, and then other areas like around where I live haven't really changed all that much. I mean, we've gotten additional houses, but those were on lots that were already platted.
There.
Well, all this is for tonight is just to give us the go-ahead, right, to get the area plans going.
Yes.
Work out a plan.
Work out a
Okay,
plan.
wanna move
So
forward with
what's a good number for
Committee.
committee? Are we setting the number that we want, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter, whatever, you don't want to get it too big, but you don't want too small,
That's why I was wondering, what's a
I
good
think
number?
we should have a rule though, so that
15 or, I don't know.
I know that some of them have the committee members listed, so for
Yeah, let me-
Stoddard,
It was listed for Milton. There's about 10 or so, I believe.
Stoddard had 12, so I'd say in between 7 and 15 people maybe.
So should we say no more than 15 on the committee?
Well,
Like
I think that's even too many.
I think
So we want an odd number, usually want an odd number, so
9.
No ties.
9.
15's odd.
That's a lot.
I think 9 is 7
Depending
to
on how
9.
big the area, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess, depends on the area, but,
Because I think like if you're going for
Population.
15, like take the enterprise area, we've got, 60 some houses. I think if we try to get 15 people, it's like 9 of them, you'll be twisting their arms and they don't want to participate.
where Mountain Green would be different.
Exactly.
And Peterson has more, but that's being taken care of, so yeah, you want to say 9?
9, yeah.
Okay, so 9 people.
Are we a person in that committee, or this is just community members?
You're an ex officio member.
So are we included in the 9 or
No,
no?
because you can't vote.
Okay.
You'll be like heading the meeting.
Ooh, we're going Latin tonight, aren't we?
Unless they want to, I mean, I suppose it's
Yeah,
up to
you
the
guys
committee.
set the rules, but that's how it
Yeah.
usually is.
Yeah, I think the planning commission member is more or less the referee, trying to
Right.
keep everything just moving along.
Because you'll get to vote when it comes here.
So
Yeah.
say we're the chairman of the committee, or are
Mm-hmm.
you gonna have basically what it is?
You're right.
Yeah,
You'll be the, chairman, you'll chair the committee.
but a non-voting member.
Organize meetings and
Does it matter where we have these meetings?
No?
Well, You're probably gonna have to go to somebody's house.
They've been held at homes before, so
It's just getting in the church and all that.
That's the last one we was here was in the library.
So I have a question for you guys. Do you think you should get the pulse of your area before you appoint 9 people or 7 people? And if so, how would you do that?
So the way that I saw it going is we do an announcement, whatever, send things or post on Facebook and say, hey, we're having an area planning meeting tonight. Anybody's welcome and come. And then from there, people in there appoint, or like, what's it called when I say, it's not appointing, nominate the 9 people that they want representing them. So they actually appoint themselves. We don't choose.
right.
Another way you could do it is I can post on Facebook that you guys are, each of you are looking for area plan, committee members to join and help plan the area plan, and I can give contact information for you guys, and people can email, not call, but email, that way you're not bombarded, and say that they want to participate in that way, so you can kind of get an idea of how many people would be in the first meeting, and then from there you can decide who you want on the committee.
I think we can do that. I don't personally want to pick people because I don't want to be accused of picking only people for my benefit. I think the communities need to appoint each other.
But if you do what she said, she would just send it out for you to help you, to get
Gather
them to
people.
respond to
Yeah.
you to start it. You're not choosing.
And then,
Or you can
yeah,
draw names out of a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
if you get more than 9, we'll draw names out of the hat. If you get less than
But
9, you might
if
have to
you-
twist some arms.
Or the
You
people can
maybe
decide.
To help get the word out a little bit, and then you can see what happens, is what she said.
So what if we don't get 9?
You know,
I don't necessarily agree with twisting arms because I don't want to, like, if people don't want to be there, then they're not going to be a,
you-
I think we can go with less than 9, just, yeah.
so just an odd number?
Sure, it doesn't even have to be an odd number, just like if you
So
do
there-
have a tie, we'll just have to find some way to break the tie.
yeah, usually the odd number just, so there wouldn't be ties.
Okay.
Barry could be the tiebreaker. Because he's the chair, I don't know.
So Bailey, I'm curious if, say for Porterville Ridgeville, if we wanted to hold a meeting here at the county building, is there rooms available here?
The auditorium is available to rent. You
But
could talk to.
We shouldn't have to rent it, it's,
This
this
is
is county
county
function.
Well.
To
yeah,
reserve it.
Reserve it, but, so you would need to talk to, like, the clerk's office. I think,
Or the,
no, the treasurer's office is over the, I'm not sure anymore who is over reserving.
not the
auditorium.
4-8, not the extension office?
I think,
They were at one time, but I don't know, it's been,
no, I think they still are. They used to be over the commission room, but they're not anymore. So
The
maybe
clerk-
they still are over the auditorium.
You still have to get the key from the treasurer's office, because you have to put, well, you wouldn't have to put a deposit, but the treasurer has the key.
Yeah.
But we could use
So
the
you
auditorium.
could reserve the auditorium, or you could talk to the clerk's office about reserving the commission room.
Who's over the clerk's office? Who would I talk to there?
Leslie Hyde.
So,
And this is the commission room, I assume?
Yeah.
The library.
and also, I was gonna say, well, Blaine's kind of at large, but he's from that area, he would have a key too, that if you want to make arrangements, he could probably
okay.
help get you into.
In here, in this.
Yeah, after you make the arrangements with the clerk's office.
Yeah.
What
I
did
don't
you say
really
that
care
lady's
which
name
one.
was? What, Hyde?
Leslie
Leslie, yeah, she's the
Leslie Anderson.
clerk auditor.
Anderson, Jim and Lori's daughter. No Doug?
You know Doug Anderson? No, she's too young.
They live right there by Smith Creek.
They're
I don't
from
know.
Milton area, aren't they?
What's that?
Are they Milton or Stoddard
They're
area?
probably
They're
Milton.
Milton.
Because I think ours goes to Dalton Creek.
Yeah,
Is where
yeah,
the
yeah,
border
with
is.
Peterson, yeah. Peterson border.
Okay, so the list of things that would need to be done in order would be to, what? Pick a day with the clerk first?
Publish it on, probably put it out there on Facebook first.
Get the committee formed first.
Yeah, but how do you form the committee with no room or no meeting?
Well, I don't mean form the committee, but put it out there that you're gonna impanel it.
Yeah, and then you can go with the date.
Then you can,
Contact, this Leslie, you can even.
So
talk-
couldn't you
talk
just
to her.
say that we're updating the area plans? Would you, if you're interested in
Being on the committee.
being on the committee, would you respond to so-and-so, and if they respond to your email?
Yeah, just have the different areas with, like Enterprise, email
Yeah.
at morgancountyutah.gov.
I'll do
something
a
else.
post for each one,
getting too
so that
long.
way people don't get confused and click on the wrong name. I'll do one for Enterprise, one for you, I can't, you're Stoddard. One for
Right,
Milton, one
Stoddard,
for Porterville,
North
and
Morgan.
Croydon,
Yeah.
and there-
each.
and you might have some, if you have local pages or local groups, put it on that.
Yeah, like more
There's
moms.
Stoddard community one.
Yeah, now I would suggest putting that on, that too.
Do you advertise it in the Morgan County News?
No,
I shouldn't say this.
the Morgan
type,
County News is
all you
digital,
gotta
so by
do
posting it on
is
Facebook, we're still
get
getting
it
it
out
out
to
to
the
the
Legal
people
Society.
Yeah.
see it
Like
anyway.
Milton,
So
they got-
what's my boundary though, so I can say, if you live between here and here?
Well,
So on here it
it's
says
on.
Gailey's, and then,
I would say Morgan city limits,
Yeah, you should go up to about where Arlene Christensen lives,
yeah.
which is not too far past Gaby's.
the village center.
That's on Old
Well, this is
Town, right?
the northwest boundary is Charlie Pence, southwest Dwight Gailey. This is corner of section 22, and southeast boundary interstate.
But I would say you would want to go up against
You want
the
to-
enterprise. You would run into the enterprise one, so.
She wants to go from the city limits
To Devil's Hollow?
to wherever Chris is.
So you're saying,
Devil's Hollow, the Wardell
I
pit.
said the word, yeah, I was gonna say the word
That
out
would be
there.
right around the curve,
Mhm.
the curve where Mark.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what's like because when you go up there, there's only the one house once you get past there. There's actually like a good distance between Devil's Hollow and the next house. I think
I would
that's
think-
right.
So is it Devil's Hollow, or is it the Wardell pit?
Whatever you, I
It's the
don't,
same.
It's the same.
same, it's one and the same.
So I could put Devil's Hollow.
The only one you have on there is,
So,
Holyoke, Jess,
does Jess live up there now?
I thought so. I thought there were two homes. I thought Bill's house and
I know
Jess.
Bill's is up there. but
I think
can't
Jess
remember.
is up there too.
Jess up there too.
never mind.
Basically
And
from there.
southeast of 84, so.
But I think
Or Highway.
you need to go all the way to the river,
Yeah.
River Bridge.
Well, that's not what this says.
Well, I know,
so
but
who gets
we-
to decide that?
So, I have the Milton area future land use map, and that's showing, it's showing from, I think the river on Stoddard.
Yeah.
And it goes up to, I can send these maps to you guys. It goes up to,
Should go to the Y.
It should go to the Y and then to
Yeah, all the
Dalton
way.
Creek.
all the way to the Y, and then, yeah, whatever creek that is up there.
Yeah, it's
And
Dalton.
then, so you're on,
You've got to go to the River Bridge. If Stoddard Lane isn't in the Stoddard area plan, there's something wrong with us.
I would say yours is gonna go to the river.
the river and
The river-
then east, northeast of the river.
I'll just make a map
All
and
the
say,
way to
if you live in
Morgan
this
City.
area, you're invited.
Yep.
And then you'd wanna go toward the county ends.
The city, yeah.
The city
to
limits.
Yes.
And that would be everything between Brett Bowman and the Wardells,
Isn't that
right?
just up the road from
I
where?
don't think I would be.
Yeah, you'd be Bowman's to
Christensen's?
Wardell's.
You know where the, I think it's the, shoot, there's that road that
Yeah.
goes to the water treatment plant.
Mhm. That's our Arlene's.
She
Is,
lives on the
is
way.
that the road?
Yeah, everybody this way
Okay.
is county.
Okay.
So Arlene lives in the city. If I'm right.
No, I think she's county. I think the
She
boundary,
lives in the county.
Arlene is in the
I
county,
think-
so where's the line at then?
kind of where the
It-
new subdivision is. right?
It's, yeah, so just right after the new subdivision, Greatview Drive,
Yeah,
just shortly after that, the city,
well, so you go a
ends.
little bit further more,
So almost to the cemetery,
no.
No.
but not all three houses. Isn't there three houses?
Just say to the city limits.
Okay.
People that
Yeah.
are there, they
Let me
know
give you
Cemetery's
the
further
actual
south.
address.
into the city, yeah.
So you know the new subdivision just below, in between the freeway and Old Highway?
Yeah.
That is the line. So that new subdivision is the city. Anything past that new subdivision is the county.
So it's
But yeah, but
about
the
like
subdivision
Reed
goes back
Harding's
behind.
home or something right there's a who it is, it's right there.
Blake Rouser's house is the first one on this side of the freeway, or, yeah, on the south side of Old Highway that,
She can help you with the map.
Yeah, just say city limits. Just say city
Mine
limits.
specifically says gravel pits, existing gravel pits should be allowed to operate. That could be something for enterprise.
I'm sorry?
No, we'll leave them in
I'm
Stoddard.
just completely ignoring you. What's
Well, no,
that?
because the.
I know, I
the
know.
bit at the end.
I know.
It's funny because like, it doesn't matter where you go in Utah, you'll see signs that say no to the gravel pit. I mean, we were down, gosh, just, we were around Sugar House of all places, and people had that in their yards. And I'm like, here? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
but, you know, you see it up in Park City, you see it down in, you know.
Never mind that their basements are out of concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do they think they got their house?
Okay, how many meetings is this supposed to take? However,
Long it
1, 2, 3,
takes.
4,
I
5,
think
6,
as many
7,
as you want, so you guys
8.
all
The last
come
one
to
was 8.
consensus.
But I don't know, an update would take 8 meetings.
Well, I think a better thing, when do we want to try to be done with it, instead of saying how many meetings?
Well, and how often do you want to have meetings? Once a month, twice a month? I mean, you're doing twice a month the best, so I don't know that you want to.
Well, you don't want to prolong it for a
No.
year time, it's going to get really old.
Yeah,
2 months.
2 months. So
I don't think you can do it too much.
I don't think you can do it in 2 months.
end of August, that's 3.
But
Yeah.
you're dealing with summer.
You're doing summer, people gone, but you can,
I'd say that we try to be ready for the first meeting in October.
okay. The 1st of October, okay. Be done by,
That's my gut. And that can always change if you're going faster.
yep. Or you can just be done.
Yeah. But if everybody's done,
Then we move on.
Yeah.
Then we can put it on the agenda before, because we haven't set the general plan to a specific
Nope.
meeting date, so.
Okay, so reading through this, there's things like nuisance control, that they strongly recommend the county pursue more aggressive predator and nuisance. How do we do that?
We don't.
It's a recommendation to the county to change their code.
I think they addressed other things other than land use.
So these meetings are solely for land use, future land use map stuff.
Much.
Yeah?
Yeah, general plan stuff, but yeah,
Well, I read some of the stuff on Milton one, I thought that doesn't really fit to what we're trying to do, in
Right.
my opinion, so.
you
So,
can,
yeah, you guys, you can talk of it and remove it.
yep,
I think that should be the focus.
it's land use, yeah, future land use map and growth.
I can try and find the Word versions of the area plans so that you guys can just make edits, or if you guys want somebody to write up an entirely new one.
Are there like requirements that have to be in here, like soils, roads, wildlife habitat? Are there specific things that need to be checklisted that need to be talked about?
What I think happened is, when the area plans were doing, one area was like the first to do it, and they went and did it like this, and I think others just followed suit their format and kind of copied what they did, and you don't have to. I know Porterville,
I would just
Brent
kinda use that.
Porter really went
Just kind of use it as.
into
my
great detail.
outline.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of details in here.
Yeah, and
And
it,
we have nothing to do with it.
no,
I'm gonna look, I haven't had the time, but we have the area plans in our storage room. And they may have some more guidelines or, on how you should go about doing it. I can look and see if we have anything like that and send it to you guys.
I think whatever
I'd
background.
appreciate it, Billy.
I think whatever background we do like put in this, it should have a policy recommendation tied to it somehow. So if you're saying that, hey, we need to preserve more open space, then, that's one of your policy recommendations, then you might want to like give the background there saying that, the Milton area is 98.6%, A20 or, RR1, blah, blah, blah. But I don't see a reason, looking at the enterprise one saying that we live in an earthquake zone. So our policy is we're going to outlaw earthquakes. It's kind of it's a background that we don't necessarily need to consider. It's not helping us in any way. So just make sure whatever we are putting in there as far as background is concerned, it does somehow tie into like a policy recommendation at the end.
and you're going to need to have
Okay.
someone be the secretary to type everything up. We're not going to use staff, so you need a volunteer to
Yeah.
be the transcriptionist.
All of the area plans should be in a Word document, because I typed them all up in 2007 or 2008 as part of the planning office.
I just gotta find them. I just haven't had time.
Okay, so on this it
Why not?
says, recommended changing the zoning, and then they all voted for it. So, is this the document that's like gonna be the law?
No. They should recommend zones, but they don't set it. They're more advisory to
So they're
us, then it would
recommending,
come
and then we're
here.
gonna decide if it's going in or not.
And then we make our recommendation to the county commission, yeah.
All the
This
area
is
plan
not
is,
normal.
is a guideline to what the people in your area want, so when it comes to the planning commission, you have something to work with from your.
And we can yay or nay it,
There's no strength or anything in the area plan other than giving you a guideline of what they would like.
until it comes, yeah. And then we can take that input and,
Okay.
It just gives them a chance to voice what they would like in their area, and then hopefully, that it's honored.
Okay. So publish it, so people know about it, hold the meeting, gather your committee. Specifically, we're looking for future land use map changes.
yeah, you're looking at, yeah, land use.
Easements and things see in in your area.
Okay. Done.
So I really think land use is the main concern. Unless there's something someone brings up, and then that's fine, put it in there. But usually land use is the big one.
And Bailey, if you find the Word documents, can, like, we all get copies of each, just so we see what the other people are doing too?
Yeah, I'll just put them all in one email and send it all to you guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
So are we done with this? Business and staff questions. How's everything going in the office, Bailey?
So apparently not very good, because apparently I'm mean.
No.
You're not mean.
How much truth is there to that?
Not much. They made application in August of 2021, so they haven't even been working on their plat amendment for a year. They were in talks with Lance prior to actually making application, but as far as their application process, it's only been since August of 2021.
Okay.
And
This was the Hamby one, remember that
The
skiwampus ugly one that we didn't like? But we passed it, and it went to the county commission, they passed it. And then
we passed the ordinance.
Then they went to Mike Newton and says, you need to change your ordinance. And so that was that lot width where it was like 70%, I can't remember, frontage.
That's what draws the one change in the, whatever it was.
Changed the code, so then the code was changed, but they didn't come back to us to amend the plat again.
Yeah,
They
didn't
just
come back and
changed
say,
the
well,
plat.
mhm.
Well, I thought, okay, so if they
Without-
got it approved under one set of rules, why are they going back to fix it to the new set of rules?
Because
The new
that's
set
why
of
the
rules
rules were
don't.
changed, was so that,
And they could have, but they needed to come back to us with the
Right.
new one.
They even said, like, when they applied the first time with us, that if the rules changed, that they would adjust it. I'm not sure if they understood that if they adjusted it, it starts the process all over again.
They needed to come back to, it could have just gone to the county commission, because we already gave our recommendation. They could have just,
and they still can't. When I had talked to you originally, we weren't sure if it should just come back to county commission or both of you guys. So in the email I sent today, because that's the only time I had a chance to respond, he actually emailed me, and so I was able to respond to him. But I let him know that, you've got to take it back because it's not what was originally approved. So it was never recorded, so they could have just come and been put on the agenda for the county commission and said, we changed the configuration.
to meet the new code.
To meet the new code, because the lot was so off that, but instead, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
So there was just, I guess, miscommunication, and then Lance had left, and it just,
Where are we at on that, anyway?
Yeah, that was something I was going to also let you guys know. We do have a new planning director that is starting on the 21st, so in a week and a half. I met with him via Teams today. Didn't get a chance to talk to him because I had people come in and that I had to help. So, but he's excited to start. He's from what he told me, he has 23 years experience in planning. He went to BYU and then Clemson.
he went to Clemson for his bachelor, beginning, and then he went to BYU, or the other way?
BYU and then Clemson.
And then Clemson.
Yeah, he's worked in both private and public for planning. So,
Do you recall his name?
Huh?
Do you recall his name?
Joshua Cook.
Josh Cook,
Yeah,
From-
from Arizona.
Arizona, Chino Valley
So he actually works in Phoenix, Arizona.
now, okay.
He's on LinkedIn if you want to look him up.
Yeah, he's searchable. I've already spoofed and found information, but from talking with him today, he seems like a very nice guy. That he will, he was asking questions about what's going on currently, so that he can get familiar with everything, and
He's already reading our code.
yeah, he's already going through the code and getting familiar with it. So that's good. So,
I have another question back to the public comment.
okay.
What does he mean by Gary won't sign the plat, but everybody else has?
Everybody else has signed the plat because.
But they didn't know it had been
They
changed.
didn't, yeah, so, I need
Who's everybody?
county council, Garrett, everybody but Gary. County engineer, county surveyor, all of them signed the plat.
County engineer.
So it hasn't been recorded. Gary said he will not sign it until it goes back to because it's not what was originally approved. I talked with Garrett yesterday, and Garrett agrees that because it's not what the county commission approved, they need to go back to the county commission. He said, yes, that he knows he signed it, but it was an oversight. They don't think to look at that because usually.
Because they're not planners.
Well, yeah, and usually everything's the same, so.
Okay, so if we were to send Mr. King an email saying, like, we discussed it, here's the protocol, bring your application back to the county council because it's
Commission,
new.
Yeah, all they have to do is contact Julie Reese because they still have an active application. So they just need to contact the HR or the executive assistant for the county commission and
Get on the
put
agenda.
on the agenda to bring back their, and state that they received approval in November of 2021. So that's how long they've had approval for on the wonky lot. It's taken a while to get other.
When does it expire?
Technically, it's expired. If you go off of when they got approval in November, it's expired. They should have to request an extension. It's only a 6-month.
It's recorded plat.
For final plat, it's a 6-month time frame to get it recorded. I received the plat 2 weeks ago. I let them know that I am the only person in the office. I would do my best to get down to the surveyor and have him review it and sign it and get all the other signatures required. And I have had them stop by my office 4 times in 2 weeks, not including today. So.
Okay, what's the next step then to make sure they know exactly what needs to happen and then move them in that direction so they don't have to keep stopping by?
Well, they'll still stop by, but,
But at least we cover our butt and said, look, this is the steps that need to happen before,
well, that's.
period.
I emailed, I already emailed them and told them that because it's not what the county commission approved, you need to bring it back. They don't have to make a new application, they don't have to pay any new fees.
Which technically they should, right, because it's expired?
No, they can technically go in front of the county commission because we haven't notified them that it's been expired. In our code, we have to give them a 14-day notice
Okay.
that your application is going to expire. You have 14 days to show good cause or whatever, or apply for an extension. So just like the last commission meeting, the Golden Hills Estates, they were to expire on June 17th. I let them know that they needed to request an extension. They brought it before the county commission granted it. Same thing with these guys. They need to be notified that their approval technically expired. And then they need to make a request with the county commission to receive an extension.
And Gary,
So who needs to send that email so that they get it, I
Unfortunately,
guess? Huh?
Me.
Well, but you already sent it.
Well, I sent the email about the plat, not about them expiring, but it didn't cross my mind until just now. And that's the other thing is like, my mind is so spread
There's a lot of things,
in
yeah.
every different direction that I'm having a hard time keeping up with what I'm doing already.
and it would be the zoning administrator to do that, and since we don't have one.
I can send notifications.
Right, but
on
usually
Facebook.
it would have been their call to say, Bailey, send the,
Yeah,
and Gary's usually the one of the last signatures anyways. The others always sign it before it gets to him.
So I just have a question, because I'm confused. With the base camp issue, what's so hard with that he was referring to? What's?
nothing. We literally, when he said that we said we never received anything, we never received anything.
So I'm just going from my experience with it. do they get a thing on their email also besides just Basecamp, or does it just go to Basecamp?
So when you upload anything to Basecamp, everyone that's on the projects receives an email.
Right.
We would have received an email had they posted it on Basecamp. What they were doing was they were emailing it directly to Lance. Well, Lance dealt with hundreds of emails a week. And, you know, it would get pushed and pushed further, and so.
Or lost. It
And
happens.
for a minute, yeah, lost, and then they'd call and ask, and he'd go back and look, and, oh, yep, looks like we did get it, and instead of, and it needs to be made more clear to every applicant that their stuff needs to be posted on Basecamp versus sent directly to email. Because that's the issue we're having, is they were sent, not just these guys, but other applicants send it directly to the planning director. So that person's extremely busy, doesn't necessarily get to it that day. If they send it to me, I try to get it posted. When I'm not busy, I can get it posted. But the best way is.
But they should
The reason
post
that we
it.
have protocols or policies is so that stuff doesn't get lost. So if
Yeah.
the policy is to load it to Basecamp, if people send you or the new director stuff, you should reply back, say, this must be on Basecamp,
Please post.
I'm deleting this email, essentially. So that the inbox doesn't get inundated with stuff that should be categorized and organized in Basecamp.
And then
Yeah.
documentation would get lost, because if you say 5 years down the road, you should be able to pull up Basecamp out of the archive, and all the documents should be there, but if it's been sent to emails, it could be long gone,
Yeah, and
documentation.
That's the thing. So Basecamp is not, it's an okay program for what the county used to do. It is not up to par anymore. I have been looking at other software to do building permits and planning applications and things like that. Before Lance left, we made the agreement that we wouldn't look at it until we received a planner. Well, then Lance left, so now I have to talk to the new planning director about going forward with this software. which
He
will
might have an
essentially-
idea, yeah.
Which will essentially start next year, if he okays it, you know, because he's gonna have to put it in the budget and do things there. But yeah, I don't care for Basecamp. It works, but it's not up to the standards we need now.
Well, but people are able to put their stuff on Basecamp.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are able to look at it.
Yep.
So it's
It
doing
serves
what
its
we need
purpose,
for
yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's serving.
It might
its
not be
purpose.
as convenient as another program, but at least it's functioning.
And everything's in one place, or it
Yeah.
should be, if they would.
The only reason I said anything is because I know exactly what's going on with all my jobs.
Because you get emails, anytime Dave does an inspection, he posts it to Basecamp and you receive an email directly.
I get one for when they schedule inspection, I get one after the inspection is done, whatever it is, and it hits my email, and then I can go to Basecamp and check it if I need to. So I delete it off my email, and then I just keep it on Basecamp, and,
Yep.
or, you know, it's not hard to use. And I know what's going on, so that's why I was just curious, so.
And I know people are frustrated, and I understand, you know.
Well-
Applications are taking a little bit longer and things aren't going exactly the way they would hope, but I am doing my best.
Well, but you don't even have all of the experience to do some of the things that
No.
they're asking,
I know.
so they're just gonna have to be patient.
I
And
know, but-
understand that there's a line. Like, it might be on the desk, but it's number 52 on the desk.
Yeah, you've been asked to do too much in my,
I honestly
Personal
haven't.
opinion.
So Lance, when he left, he stated, do not do more than what, you know, and I'm not honestly doing more. It's just that before, and I took him for granted in this, that anytime I didn't want to or couldn't answer somebody right off the bat, I'd send them to Lance. Now I have nobody to send them to, so I have to deal with those phone calls. I have to help people out with complaints, you know, and get answers for those things. I didn't realize how many phone calls Lance was dealing with every single day because I didn't know the answer or couldn't remember the answer and felt that he would do better explaining it to them. Now I do, so now I'm gonna, you know, do better and do a little bit more in in that aspect for the new director. But yeah, I'm really not doing more. I mean, I'm going to meetings, that's about the only different thing.
No, but your workload's increased on you in a sense because of what you're having to deal with that you didn't, so it's.
Yeah, and you know, there's more than just them that are,
Yeah.
having issues and stuff like that.
Are
so-
frustrated.
Kind of the general thing they brought up, even before Lance left, I'd heard that from other people outside the county, so they're not the first to kind of air that Morgan County is a difficult place to build in. And I think part of it is that if you want to build on 40-degree slope with, you know, active landslides and stuff like that, yeah, we're going to be tough to work with.
Yeah,
But, you know, if there are places that we can make it better, that'd be a good thing for the new
But
planning director.
Morgan's unique too because of what you have here. You're 96% private owned, right?
94, yeah.
That throws in a big thing versus these other areas where there's so much public that they can
And you're-
come in.
well, and then we're surrounded by so many mountains.
Yeah, so it.
Yeah, we
it's
got
a-
water
and
problems, and
We've tried explaining it to, because, like I said, we have other people that are having issues, and we've tried, because they mentioned, well, this city, it does it this way, why is it so difficult here? Well, we have different rules and criteria that you have to meet.
So
And-
the answer to them is if you don't like it, then why don't you go to that place and buy the lot and build there?
And counties,
If
lot,
I could say that, I would say that, but I do really enjoy my job, and I want to keep it, so.
and county is so different than city. And
Exactly,
people don't realize that when they come from a city,
yeah,
trying to navigate in a county.
so it, you know, it's not gonna be the exact same as the last place that you built or you developed in. There are individual rules for individual counties. But,
Okay,
yeah,
so I guess my question goes back to, how are we gonna fix the comment today? Like, you've already sent him the stuff, so does it need to come from somebody else, like a vice chair or a chair that says, these are the rules, this is what you will do?
Or do you need to send him another email?
Or Garrett?
I've been in talks with Garrett, and Garrett said if it becomes too difficult, send them his way, so I may just direct them to him, and he can take.
Do they understand they need to just to get on the county commission agenda?
So, like I said in the email, I believe I may have mentioned planning commission. I can send them another email and CC Garrett on it and state that you just need to request to be on the agenda for the county commission, and let them know that, you know, you changed the Mylar because of this, and
To meet the new
don't
code?
go back in front of the planning commission, just the county commission. It's
And
not
get
gonna cost you
approved.
Any extra, just a little bit more time.
And then Gary will sign the plat.
Yeah.
Maybe what to do then, is just send him an email, says the planning commission addressed your topic after you left so that he knows, because they walked out of here ticked off.
Yeah, they could be watching it on YouTube also.
Well, they were upset when they left. I mean, it was obvious.
They're frustrated.
They
Yeah.
are, but at least, you know, so that they know that we addressed and talked
Yeah.
about it, and then just refer them to Garrett and the planning, or the county commission, and, because everything's good for them, right? It's just a matter of,
Well, yeah, I mean, the surveyor signed off on it, so he's okay with it the way it is, but it's not what was approved originally.
yeah, it wasn't on the application to start
Yeah.
with. So they just need to modify that to meet it, and they're good.
Maybe send them,
And I'm sure if Brenda were to have the plat, because Brenda is the very last review before it gets recorded, she would have called that out as well. So, I mean, it's better that we caught it
oh,
now
Brenda would caught it, yeah.
Yeah.
before Brenda caught it.
Maybe just send them once tomorrow that we've talked about it. This is, you know, if you'll do this, then you'll be able to.
Maybe even a
Not
link to
yet.
the application to get on the county commission
County
agenda.
agenda.
Well, if
Make
they
it-
have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it easy,
Not
make
if
it
you do
easy.
this, it's you must do this
Well,
to get,
Yeah,
If
Your
you
stuff
want it
approved.
done, you gotta do this.
yeah.
yeah.
It should be a really quick agenda item.
Yeah, it should take them all but long enough to make the vote.
Mm-hmm.
kind of like ours tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
did well.
Everything's what it's supposed to be, they just gotta change because of the application.
Yep.
And then Gary would sign it and everything would move on.
Yep.
Okay.
Next item.
Did everybody get their, I'm sorry, Kaylee, do you have anything else that you want to talk about, since you are staff?
Well, do you have anything to talk about, Alka?
No.
So,
She's like, get me out of here.
Get me out of here, I want to go home.
I know, she was here for the entire county commission meeting on Tuesday, so she's a trooper, but, no, I just am ready for the planning director to start.
So we have a director, but still no planner one.
Correct. So they plan to, once he started, re-advertise to let him interview and be involved in that, so.
Okay. Everybody get their corrections in? I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Approve.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Second.
Aye.
You guys are like going too fast for me, man.
I think I have the last attorney thing already.
Already preloaded?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guess we ought to mix it up.
I'll remember your name next time, Steve. Oh, I'm sorry, got members.
I know the feeling well.
I know. That's the worst part about chairing is you know their name, but it's not there.
No offense from me.
we're still on YouTube.
Okay.
Speaking of pests, my wife is out of town. If you want to hear the 7-day story from the idiots at American Airlines, I'll tell that at some other time. But I had to put the chickens away every night, and as I was walking up there, 4 chickens come flying out of the coop. What is it? It's a skunk. As soon as they came out, I'm like, oh no, I've got a predator in there. I thought it was going to be a raccoon. So I open the door, it's like 10:30 at night, my wife's on the East Coast, and there's a skunk in there, and I'm like, gosh.
Gotta get the skunk out.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there going, I don't want to get sprayed, and I don't want to get rabies.
Way to go.
So I go inside, and of course, there's the internet. It's like, how do you get a skunk out of a chicken coop? And the answers are like, well, first you dig up underneath, and then you put rocks down there so they can't touch. And I'm like, no, I need to get an active skunk. I can't find anything. Call my wife. It's like 12:30. She has to get up at 4 a.m. And I'm like, how do you get a skunk out of the chicken coop? She's like, well,